You let me know when we're rolling. Oh, we're rolling. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Welcome back, friends. It's Anders. Today, we are making the Boulevardier. This is a relatively simple drink. I've had it on the channel a couple times in a couple different list videos. We did it in my top 5 bourbon cocktails, and it was also in the video where we did Manhattan to Margarita. That was a fun one. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. Anyway, I figured it was time. This cocktail had its own video, and it's a tremendous drink. A lot of people think of this as a bourbon riff on the Negroni, because that's kind of what it is, but it's so much more than that. I think it's time we take the Boulevardier out of the shadow of the Negroni. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more sips, tips, and recipes, and let's go make the Boulevardier. To the bar. All right, before we jump in, I have an announcement to make. We have some new merchandise that has hit our store, including apparel and artwork. This shirt is one of the items. It's got the logo on the front and To the Bar on the back. This is something a number of you have been asking for, and now it is available. We also have some sweatshirts. I love a good sweatshirt, and now we have options with the To the Bar patch embroidered on the front. Cozy, perfect time of year for that. And then we've got artwork, which I'm really excited about because we have original pieces of art that are cocktails we've made on the channel here. Now, they come in a set of 4. I will be releasing 3 sets total. Each set has 3 classics and 1 original of mine. They are nicely printed on pearlescent silver paper. They don't come framed, but this is a standard size. I went and picked up these frames at Michael's, not sponsored, but they've got a wide selection of frames that are affordable and they look good. So here we have the Pousse Cafe, the Sazerac, the Queen's Park Swizzle, and the wonderful Tartan Cocktail. That is an original of mine. Not only are they beautiful to look at, they have the specs, the recipe right at the very bottom here, so you can make it and you know what it looks like because of the image. Check it out. I know this is a lot to drop at once, but I'm really excited, and there are gonna be more fun things to come. So, huzzah. Thank you, Anders. Onto the film. So now back to business, onto the drink, the Boulevardier. Boulevardier, I know that I'm butchering that pronunciation if you are French. The definition is essentially a wealthy socialite, a man about town. Apparently these were common back in the day. I think we all kind of want to be a wealthy socialite. I am not a Boulevardier, but I do enjoy this drink. Now, let's talk about the drink. 1927, that's the year to remember, because that's where we first see print of the Boulevardier. It was in Harry Macalone's book, Barflies and Cocktails. Although it wasn't listed among the main part of the book with all the other cocktail recipes, it was in an essay, a piece that's added at the end that was written by somebody else called Arthur Moss. So they talk about the Boulevardier, and in there, credit is given to, I have to look at this one because it's a very unique name for me, Erskine Gwynn. I don't know any Erskines. Erskine Gwynn was an American socialite, a Boulevardier, if you will, who moved to Paris in the 1920s, and he founded a literary magazine called, you guessed it, Boulevardier. So that's where we get the name of the cocktail. And then thanks to the book, we see the recipe. Now that recipe at the very end of Barflies and Cocktails is an all equal parts recipe that is bourbon, Campari, and sweet vermouth. The all equal parts bit is the same build as the Negroni. The only difference is instead of gin, there is bourbon. And this all happened around the same time. The Negroni, we think, was 1919. This was in the 1920s, so maybe it was influenced by the Negroni, but we don't know. Now, it is common to double up on the bourbon. So it's a 2 parts bourbon, 1 part wine, 2-1-1 as opposed to 1-1-1. Anyway, the reason for this is it's much more balanced out. You taste the base spirit a bit more. In fact, this is how I build my Negronis, is the 2-1-1 ratio. I think it's time for me to shut up. Onto the booze. To make this recipe, we will need bourbon, Campari, and sweet vermouth. Pretty simple, 3 ingredients. We are also going to want to have an orange because we're gonna express orange oil across the top. We're actually gonna flame the orange oil across the top. Now, as far as the bourbon, when I've made this in the past on the channel, I used a different bourbon. I was using Old Grandad Bonded. This is Elijah Craig small batch. I'm doing this for 2 reasons. Number 1, to show you that Any quality bourbon is gonna be good in this drink. So if you like the bourbon, it's gonna be good in the cocktail. But also I happen to have more of this bourbon than the Old Grandad, so I'm using it. And then the Campari. This, you pretty much wanna stick with Campari here. There are other options, but it's going to yield a different result. Onto the sweet vermouth. I like a good, richer sweet vermouth. The Cocchi vermouth de Torino, as most of you know, is my go-to sweet vermouth. This is gonna be good with a number of different sweet vermouths though. Whatever you have on hand, use that one. If you would like to purchase any of these bottles, check out my collection on Curiata. Link in the description down below. With that, let's build. This drink is all booze, so stir it. I'm gonna serve this up. It's also good on the rocks, but get your glassware chilled. We're not going to down this in one gulp. Into the mixing glass. Let's start with the bourbon. I'm gonna do 1.5 ounces of bourbon. To that, 3/4 ounce of Campari, and 3/4 ounce of sweet vermouth. 2, 1, 1. Pretty simple. Now we can add ice and stir. Go ahead and stir for about 30 seconds or so. There we go. All right, this is looking about right. And strain off into the chilled cocktail glass. Here we are. Now we can flame some orange oil across the top. For this, I like to cut a little coin of the orange peel, and then we need a little fire. I like to light a little wooden stick right over the top. There, hit the sides, put out the flame. It's a nice smoky orange scent. There it is. If you wanted, you could give this a garnish with a orange twist on top, but I think this is beautiful as is. I love the color. Ladies and gentlemen, there we have the Boulevardier. Cheers. Oz, would you like to join me?
Okay.
Thank you for joining me, Oz.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Cheers, everyone. Ooh, it smells good. That is delicious.
I know I'm gonna like this already. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so
such a good drink. At first, you kind of get all of the flavors at the same time. And they're big flavors, but one doesn't overshadow the other. The sweet vermouth gives it a roundness. The bourbon gives it a little burn. And then you get this subtle bitterness on the end. So it kind of dries out. And it makes you want to go in for another sip.
I have nothing to add. My 2 cents is it's tasty, it's good, yummy, yummy, try it.
Yeah, that is exactly what I would say. It's yummy, yummy, try it. So there we have it, the Boulevardier. Let us know in the comments down below how much you love it. I hope that you love it.
Or how much you hate it.
Or how much you hate it. Let us know you're there. Thank you for watching. Don't forget your merch. Check out the new shipment. Very exciting stuff. The artwork, the apparel, all of it. We will see you next time. Cheers.
Goodbye.
Welcome back. Blah. I always have to do that. I always have to get that first one out where I just go blah, 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 blah. Because that's what I think of when I see cameras. We're gonna make it. We're gonna talk about it. It's fun. I love you.